Hi loves, it's Claudia, and I am here to share with you some truths. And the truths stem from what happened to me one day while I was teaching during my teaching career. Yep, this is a story time video. Now, when I was teaching, I absolutely loved teaching. I loved my students. I loved my lesson plans. I put so much time and energy into planning my lessons so that my students would get the very best of me. And when they showed up on my roll, I loved them no matter what. Even the ones who contributed to your anxiety that how am I going to get this student in line? What am I going to do to make sure this student learns? You simply did it. I did it, and I loved it. Here is what happened. One day during fourth period, I had sent my students to lunch. They were 11th grade. They did not need the elementary walk with the class down to lunch. It was simply the bell rang and the students left. They knew to go have lunch and come back after lunch so that you could begin either the study period or the next class period. It was fourth period. The middle of the day was beautiful. The sky was blue. Clouds were fluffy and white. How do I know? I depended on the weather also to keep me feeling top of my game, because when it was sunny, I was even more lit. I was electric anyway, but when it was sunny, I did it to the hilt. Now, I let them go, and I was in the closet getting my lunch money, probably putting on some lipstick, fluffing my hair, and getting ready to go down and join the other teachers for fourth period for lunch. Off the silent hall walked one of my students who was troubled and always into something that got her suspended from school or expelled for something, and then she was back angry, sullen, quiet. I will never forget it, even though I buried the memory for a long time. I mean, I buried it from the moment that it happened. I had not seen her in a long time, so she may have been, if memory serves me correctly, suspended. She may have been just hanging out and wasn't coming to class, but she was in one of my classes. This girl was tall, thin, and I believe she wore glasses. Without a word spoken between us, this student choked me. She grabbed my neck. Her two hands were on my neck, and she started squeezing for everything that was in her. I realized in a flash that I was immobile and could do nothing. I don't know if it was the fear of dying. I don't know if it was the shock that someone is now before you where you didn't have anyone in this room nor anyone on the hall, and now someone that you know is choking you, strangling you. Probably it was a compilation of all that, but all I knew for sure was that this girl meant to kill me. Now, you must understand, when I was teaching, all of the students, I thought, all of the students loved me, and I loved them. But this particular girl was on a whole different plane, on a whole different playing level. She choked me I'm telling you, I thought she lifted me up off the floor because she choked me. She was choking me that hard. She meant to kill me. No doubt in my mind, she meant to end my life at fourth period. I remember looking up at her with my neck up. I felt like a penguin. You know when people say penguins, if you're trying to kill them or kill their baby, they don't do anything? It wasn't that I was allowing her to do it. It's just that for some reason, it was a stasis that set in. I was just limp. I couldn't even move my arms to stop her from choking me. I could do one thing and one thing only. And that was to turn my head slightly, because she had me like this. And I happened to be facing not the back of the room. The back of the room was behind me. She was in front of my bulletin board near my door. I was facing the window on my left. And I turned my head slightly. And I looked out the window. And the sky was cerulean blue. And the clouds were beautiful. The day was exquisite. And I remember looking out that window, not so much thinking, this is the last view that I'm going to see before I leave this life. But I looked out that window to hold on. I knew that if she kept strangling me, I was going to lose consciousness and pass away. But I looked out that window almost as if to keep contact with this realm. Not with her, but with this whole space that is the universe around us. And I looked at it, and there must have been, I know there was a connection between me and spirit. And it wasn't so much as spirit was outside the window or the window, but spirit was within me, I know. And the anchor that was being used to keep me here was the window. And the knowledge that if I could just hold on a little while longer, I could possibly survive. And I did just that. I stared out that window and I just prayed that she would not remain with that mask of death on her face. Now, her face was like she was drugged, super high. So I am saying that to you. I am saying it to the universe. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to stay. Thank you for listening to the story. And I want you to not dispel fear. You can't do that. Not to run from fear, but to fear less. And to not even fear, but to embrace life and hold on. And while you're here in life, do everything it is that you want to do. Stop being so afraid to do anything because people might say to you, what are you doing that age doing that? Or what are you doing when other people purportedly far better at what you're doing than you are doing it, and now you want to try doing it? No. Do whatever your heart tells you to do, and do it well. Like me, I'm getting ready to dance, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability just because I want to. Just because I have breath and I can, and I'm healthy, and I'm going to do it. So you can watch the video that you'll find somewhere here when you see me like this, and you will see me dance. I'm dancing for the pure joy of life because I love dancing, because I love movement, because I love sensuality, Because I love me. I dance. I speak. I write. I read. I make up. I love people. I love my family. I love you. I love YouTubing. I love it all. And if I missed something, let me see. I simply love this journey called life. No, I didn't tell anyone that that girl tried to end my life for a period, because I could have gone to the office and said to the principal, this student, I need to press charges. I want her found. I was so grateful that she just stopped. She just simply let go of my neck and walked out of that room, and she disappeared, and I have not seen that student since. I don't wish to ever see her again in this life, but I wish her well. I wish her success. I wish her healing, because we can all change. If we're troubled, we can change. We're energetic, we can flow with the vibes of the universe and get anywhere we want to be. And I am grateful to be here in this moment sharing that story with you. Why did I bury it? It was too traumatic to remember, to even think about telling my students once I got back into the classroom to begin fourth period. You as a human being can block out anything. But let me tell you, even though you block it out, it will resurface. It will resurface. And you will have to deal with it. But everything in its time. When did it resurface for me? Years and years afterwards. Last year, I was having an early morning breakfast with my sister. We had worked together all night at her shop. She treated me to breakfast. And while we were having breakfast, on Denny's television monitor came the story of a teacher whose body had been found in one of the surrounding counties. And the teacher had been missing for years. The teacher was purported to be a wonderful teacher, well loved by his students. And they had a mystery as to what happened to the teacher. When I looked at that story on the monitor, thoughts of what happened to me and how I could have died mysteriously, strangled in my room alone on the English hall during fourth period alone, it would have been a mystery. That story made me tell my sister the story of what happened to me. I had never told a soul, no one. And when I told her, I was liberated. I was free. No, I'm not filled with hate. As I said, I wish that student well. She may be, if I'm 60, she may be 30, 40, something now. I don't know if she's still living this life. But you're free when you can talk about something that happened in your past. You're free when you can forgive. You're free when you can go on and meet that new day doing precisely what you want to do, with fear as your friend and your motivator. So, without further ado, I'm going to wish you a good night. Tener una noche hermosa. Have a beautiful night. I wish you all the love and success and health and wealth that this life can hold. Free yourself. Vivir libre. Adiós. Y besitos y abracitos a todo el mundo. And kisses and hugs to everyone.